being black in America and drink orders that are Icks. We gonna get into it. Let's get it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcast, YouTube exclusive content, and our YouTube membership. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family. Hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode is the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dadding a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about being black in America. And then we're going to be talking about drink orders that are Icks on dates. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. Before we get into the first topic, that is our love for Jason Statham and Equalizer movies on top, I have a personal thing that I need to get off my chest.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
My neighbors got to hate me. They got to hate me. Because any minor inconvenience, I'm going and knocking on the door. I am a Karen.
Yeah. We all pay to live here. I'm not going to be inconvenienced in my space. No.
Right. So I got a new neighbor, just moved in last week.
Perfect time for them to learn.
Right. Right. So yesterday I was editing stuff. So I was in the studio, and it was around this time yesterday. And all of a sudden, loud bass started coming through the walls. And there's a wall that connects where the studio is to their kitchen and then their living room. But if they're playing bass in the living room, real bass is going to protrude, and I'm going to hear it. And this building was built in 2008. So it's really well made. I rarely hear my neighbors. It's only when... In one instance, it was the guy yelling and screaming. In this other instance, this person playing loud music. So first I was just going to let it ride. But they were playing the new T.I. song on repeat. And that's a whole lot of bass. So I said, no, I'm going to have to nip this in the bud, because cannot have this going on. Yeah. Go out there and knock on the door. Gentleman opens the door, and I'm just like, hey, man, I'm your neighbor. I do a lot of recordings. I do a lot of meetings. Can't have that loud bass. I'm not saying turn down the music. I'm saying turn down the bass. He was like, oh, yeah, I'm really sorry. First thing I did was say, hey, welcome. That's the first thing I did.
Okay. I was wondering, are you launching straight into
Okay. But I wasn't, It wasn't a hey, welcome, nice, right? It was, first of all, hey, welcome. Yeah. And then it was getting into it, and he was very, hey, I'm sorry, I'll turn down the bass. It won't happen again. And I was like, I appreciate it. Welcome to the building. And he's like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, I don't want to get on a first name basis, because if this goes left, I don't want to continue on with this. But
your neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, the neighbors before, it was two guys that lived there, and I was just I would see them in the hallway every now and then. I would say hello. Never knew their name. I know they lived here for at least a year. Never knew their names.
Yeah, I refuse to get to know my new neighbors.
Oh, they already moved in?
Yeah, they've been there. They've been there for about a month, and I'm not gonna say it. No.
But it got me thinking, this because you're a homeowner. I can always up and move, right? Yeah. It's not so easy for you to up and move. No. And I'm like, if I owned a place, which is another hesitation, the reason why I've never bought, and you got bad neighbors, it's a problem. Now I understand how people get into these disputes where neighbors get unalived because it be so real in these disputes.
Yeah. It be full fights. They going back and forth to court and suing each other, all kinds of stuff. Yes, I'm very I try to be really considerate of my neighbors, and I chill. I stick to myself, whatever. But no, it's It's real because if I can't just say, well, forget it, I'll just move to another house. I gotta pack up a whole house
A whole
and move
house
it.
and move
I
it.
ain't doing that. I ain't doing all that. And yeah. And then where am I go? Where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna go?
You
Huh?
got a
The
lot of
housing
places here.
prices. No,
Oh,
the
well,
housing
yeah.
prices are. I bought my house almost 10 years ago. The housing
Damn.
prices are not the same, and I'm not gonna get this interest rate
No,
that
you
I
ain't never
got
lied.
back then. Like, I ain't going nowhere. We gonna fight this out.
Yeah, you got to sell crack to be able to own a home nowadays.
Yeah.
It is crazy, but it just look. I felt bad because it's back-to-back weeks. I done had to address both neighbors on a different side of me,
Yeah,
but
but
I
it's
haven't
not
had no
like,
issues.
yeah, that and it's, you said it one time to both of them. It shouldn't be a problem from now on.
Well, thank goodness I'm 6'4", 240 pounds. Because if I
Yeah.
wasn't, I have a client who has a neighbor, and they're like, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's a club or Dave and Buster's over there, and I'd be like, and I was
Mm.
like, oh no, 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 no,
No.
that wouldn't work for me. We gonna have to
Yeah.
handle
It's
something.
especially with so many people who work from home. Like, you really just can't do that
Mm-mm.
during business hours, and then after business hours I don't want to hear it. So it's just like, there's really no, put your headphones on, seriously. Like,
They don't need to put their headphones on in their own home. The turning down the bass, and then I hadn't had a problem. I'm somebody who has to turn down my bass because
yeah,
bass. One thing that you'll hear, you won't hear words. You'll barely hear music, but you'll hear that
you hear
doom,
that.
doom, doom,
Mm-hmm.
doom.
Mm-hmm.
So turn down the bass, and he was listening to all
Yeah.
the jams, all of them.
Yeah.
I thought it
Yeah.
was city
What's the
girls up in there. I was not expecting the person who opened the door to open the door. Let's put it that way.
hey, everybody to each his own.
I was like, we could be friends, but we're not going to, because you know why?
Nah.
I don't want the friends that I got. But anyway, let's talk about our first love. We teased this in the
Yeah.
after hours that came out on Monday. So those
Mm-hmm.
that watch the after hours will know what we're about to talk about. Our love, and we've done it before. That's the reason why this is just going to be a little excerpt in this segment. Our love for Jason Statham or
Yeah.
Equalizer movies. You and I both watched a Jason Statham movie this weekend. And
Yes.
I was just like, I love these movies. I could watch them literally all day long, every day.
And then I think we need to swap,
We do.
because I watched Safe.
Yes.
You
Which
watched
came out in like
Shelter.
2012. He still had hair.
Doesn't matter. It was still fantastic. I mean, let me set the scene. I know I did this for you, but for the audience, let me set the scene, okay? First of all, Jason Statham is an ex-cop, current cage fighter. Okay?
What?
He was a cop. Now he's a cage fighter.
Okay.
Okay? But before he was a cop, apparently he was some like he worked for the government and he's always some elite
Yeah,
kind of
always.
mercenary type of spy type of whatever. So they actually hired him to be a cop for the special task force to like keep an eye on the other cops or whatever. So
Okay.
then some things went down with that. They were dirty. He left and became a cage fighter. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. Okay. So then this man, in order to protect this little girl who has the combination to a safe in her mind, fights the Russian mafia, the triads, and the NYPD.
Jeez.
Doesn't have a scratch on him at the end. Okay? Not a scratch. He goes against all these people and then ends up, he takes everybody down somehow, and he moves out west with the little girl to take her to a school for gifted children, and now he's got an adopted daughter because her parents are gone.
Okay, so I watched what was the movie?
Shelter.
Shelter. I watched
Mm-hmm.
Shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Similar premise. It's a guy living alone, him living alone with his dog in a lighthouse on a desert island off of
Yeah.
Scottish ales, right?
Yeah.
And he gets supplies from this uncle and niece that come in on a boat. They come in on a boat and then have to take a smaller boat, a rowboat, to get to the land, drop off the supplies, and then leave.
Because he had, I'm assuming, no contact with the outside world.
He has no contact with the outside world. It's just him and his dog. And he plays chess with nobody, and he drinks a lot of vodka.
It makes me feel like he's atoning for something.
Well,
as is his way.
Well, I can't give you too much of the plot, but of course, he sort of bonds with this little girl and has to save her. And of course, he used to be part of the MI6 Special Forces.
And there it is. There it is.
He was the prototype, the special person in that Special Forces. And then he left because they wanted him to assassinate somebody. And he was like, no, this is a good person. I'm not going to assassinate him. So he, with his hacking buddy, changed his identity and decided that he wasn't going to live anywhere else. But now he's been discovered. And he's got to fight off his old MI16. And not only that, he's matched up with the new version of him from the MI16. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's always, whatever this elite squad that is in his background, he's always the most elite from that elite squad.
He'll never have no mentor that's better than him. He'll never have.
He's always the top tier, and for some reason he retires, or he goes off somewhere to atone, or he falls in love and decides to get out. Whatever, okay? Becomes a beekeeper. It doesn't matter, okay? But then there is somebody he's gotta avenge.
He always has to avenge somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at him. Look, so I was watching this documentary on Canon Films, and for anybody that was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, you remember Canon Films, they pumped out so much material. A lot of it went straight to DVD or straight to video, but they were behind He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, Superman 4. They just would keep pumping out content. And one of the things that they used to do, one of their flagships was the Chuck Norris movies and those Delta Force. He was always some soldier that was fighting some communist or something with Drake. And as I'm watching this documentary, one of the people that was in the documentary is a filmmaker and said it was these movies that made me, one, be proud to be an American because he was fighting for the American cause. And then two, because it resonated with me so much, like filmmaking. And so I decided to become a filmmaker. And I was like, well, there's never been any movie that's made me ever be proud to be an American. And I can't identify with any of these Equalizer type movies. And ladies and gentlemen, we say Equalizer movies because we just put them in one category. And the top of the category is the Equalizer.
The actual Equalizer.
The actual Equalizer.
Yeah.
And I can't identify with any of that, but they're just entertaining and make me feel good because the good guy wins in the end.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about.
And for some reason, he's up against really people that they're in the business of killing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they're up against people they used to work with.
Right.
Their own team. And still, they take everybody out. How in the world? Russians, Triads, and the NYPD. And this man makes it out.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
Unscathed.
I'm going to watch it this weekend. But you know what's the most realistic Equalizer movie?
Which one?
Man on Fire. You know why?
Yes.
Because he saves her. But he don't make it at spoiler
He don't
alert.
make it.
He don't make it at the end.
If you ain't seen Man on Fire, I can't. It came out like 20 years ago.
Maybe even longer than that, because Dakota Fanning is a grown woman now.
And she was a full child.
Yeah,
so, like, if you haven't seen, Man on Fire. I mean, it came out in 2004.
So 22
So
years ago.
yeah. So I don't know.
Ye-
But anyway, yeah, he doesn't make it. That's realistic. He
That's
ended up jacked up at the end of that movie and doesn't make it. And I'm like, yeah, that's realistic. But you don't have a movie that makes you proud to be an I do have one.
I have not movies that make me be proud to be an American. No, but there
Mm.
are things that make me proud to be an American. Like before the hockey team was celebrated by the current president, I was ecstatic, and I'm still ecstatic about the women's hockey team. Like sometime the Olympics. Kobe
The
Bryant's
Olympics,
redeem team.
hands down, the Olympics. You can't tell me nothing about America during the Olympics time.
After September 11th, when the country came together, and then Obama being elected.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that make me proud to be an American, but there hasn't been like a movie.
Mine are like movies like that involve the American military. So like one that immediately pops in my mind, Cloverfield, when that alien.
I'm sorry.
You never saw. Oh, it's so good.
Wasn't it a scary movie?
No, but I like horror films, so it might be scary to you.
Yeah.
But like, it was just like, I mean, our military, it was just all the shock and awe thing where they're just bombarding this alien, and these are regular human beings who have never seen an alien monster before, but they're still like, we're the U.S. military, baby. We're gonna attack this thing that's killing people, and we're gonna be in the front line like that. I'd be like, yeah.
Hold on, but those are two separate things. You asked me, have I ever seen a movie that made me proud to be an American? Not have I ever seen anything that made me proud of the U.S. military. Those are two separate things.
I think that for me it's both.
But I don't like equating the two, because people when Colin Kaepernick kneeled for the national anthem, they were like, you're disrespecting the military. How? It's not the military national anthem. It's America's national anthem. So I don't like that.
Here's why I conflate the two.
Okay.
Because it was servicemen and women and persons that were like, no, we fight so that he has the right to kneel.
Some of them.
But like by and large, like that was their thinking is like, no, we're fighting for your rights. Like that is, and so for me, I conflate the two.
Okay.
It makes me proud of them, and then I'm proud. I'm
always proud of our military, because they do something I could never. Yeah, I'm not going to. I could never. And I
saw a clip. I don't know if this is real.
Well, with AI nowadays, you just don't know. Yeah, you just don't know.
I do not know. But it was a news program interviewing some Iranian official. And she asked him something about, like, were you concerned about Trump's threats to, because I just also would like to say, Trump is at war. America is not. We did not agree to this, but
there's been a lot of wars that we didn't agree to that where we were. And matter of fact, I can't remember the last time that we agreed to a war. We agreed to the war on terror after 9/11. We didn't agree to the Iraqi war. Those are two separate things. We didn't agree to Vietnam. I don't know if we agreed to Desert Storm. We ain't really agreed on these wars.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
Yeah.
But like, she was asking this Iranian official, like, are you concerned that he might put boots on the ground? And this man looked straight in that camera and said, no, we're waiting for them. And see, that would have been the time I go AWOL. What you mean? Like, you ready for if we put boots on the ground? Y'all ready? I'm not. Nah. This is nah. No. What you mean?
I don't know.
That was the coldest thing I ever saw.
I don't know if that's real or not. What I
don't either.
Say, it's a whole different ball game when you think you are in the right religiously and you defending your home. And those type of situations, people ain't afraid.
No,
They ain't
like
afraid.
that was the coldest answer I ever seen. And I was like, oh, yeah, no. And so I was watching this content creator and she was like, yeah, that's when they would have to find me. I've gone AWOL. Like I've left the base. What you mean?
You mean you're like, they not afraid? We can't beat them with fear?
No. What you mean? You waiting, you ready. No, I ain't going. So I always am like, man, the service persons in this country, y'all do something that I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared. I ain't gonna do it.
I would do it if I had to do it.
It literally, like, you would have to draft me and I have to exhaust every avenue of getting out of it.
I'm gonna give myself the gout or something.
Something. Please.
But okay. Yeah. All right. This segment is going to come off as like, I'm not proud to be an American. I am. Just certain things make me proud to be an American, and certain things make me also ashamed of being American. And we are actually going to get into that next. Jay, something interesting happened the other day, and it had me sitting in thought for a good 2 hours.
Wow. Okay.
A friend of mine, I'm not going to throw them under the bus, sent me a video, and in that video, 2 young sisters was at a hotel having that breakfast, right? And this older man filming them, I'm going to assume older black man because of his voice. So I couldn't see him. I'm going to assume older black man.
Yeah.
Was chastising them because they were wearing bonnets while having breakfast. And this, I'm going to assume, because they didn't say, how is a white man going to talk to us like that? I'm going to assume because of his voice, he's an older black man. This older black man, in chastising them, saying, why are y'all coming in there with that stuff on your head? You don't see none of these white folks in here with anything on their head. They're being respectful when people coming in eating breakfast. You got us looking bad out here in front of these white folks. Now, the person that sent it to me, 2 people, it was in a group chat, were agreeing with him. I decided not to respond in the group chat. I thought it was a dumb conversation that I was not going to get my point across. They were not going to understand it. I didn't have the patience to try and explain it to them, because I know in that instance, when I was going to explain it to them, I was going to talk down to them. I just know, because I was so disgusted at them agreeing with him. But it got me to a larger issue, which is very much present in the black community. That's the community I'm in, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what it's like for the Latino community or the different Latino communities, the different Asian communities, so forth and so on. That we are a collective, and we looked at as a collective identity. And I wanted to talk about Black American existence and the critique in the black community towards other black people. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to be a segment where I'm going to tear down white people. I'm tearing down black people in this one.
We're not tearing down. We're calling them out and calling them in.
I'm tearing them down. Jay is going to call them out, call them in. I'm tearing them down. Because I'm tearing down this old black man that was filming them. And it got me thinking to Black America, our existence, our collective identity, our respectability politics, and the emotional tension of our linked fates. And so being Black in America often means living as part of a perceived collective, where individual behavior is read as reflective of the entire group, creating both powerful solidarity, at the same time creating painful internal judgment. And I'm going to get into the different aspects of this, but just from what I told you about this video, could you please explain to the people why women might wear bonnets out in public?
Because we haven't done their hair yet. Here's the thing. I'm in a hotel. I came down in the morning to get the breakfast. I haven't gotten ready to leave the hotel yet, so my bonnet is still on. That's it.
What are some other reasons why you might wear a bonnet? Maybe you don't want to get your hair wet.
You might not. Yeah.
Like if you wear it outside, it might be raining.
Yes.
Why don't you have an umbrella? Who wants to carry an umbrella? Just certain women can't get their hair wet because it messes
Yeah.
up their hairdo.
Yeah. But a bonnet is for protecting your hair. That is what it's for.
You know what made it so interesting to me? The people that sent it to me, I've known them for a very long time. I remember them with their cornrows and do-rags out in public, like it wasn't a big thing. And they even made a point of saying, it's like wearing a do-rag in public. You used to wear a do-rag in public.
You used to wear a do-rag in public.
Consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you knew that when the do-rag comes off, it's to show out. Like, I'm going to keep it protected to make sure that my style stays tight. Because when I need to reveal it, it needs to be right. Okay? That's it. These are all things for protection, to protect your style. Like, that is all that it is. Like, it's not, I don't understand where there is, like, where these respectability politics, where this is coming from.
I know
like,
where it's
I don't
coming
even,
from.
I mean, I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I know where it's coming from. But, like, also, this is just a do-rag, a bonnet. Like, it's just, these are not political things, but they're being made to be political things, and it's dumb.
I was out with a client a couple of years ago. They were in town with their family. And so I went to the hotel and we had drinks and I had drinks with their family, and their father, much older, was asking me, hey, when did all these, much older and white, much older and white. Hey, when did all these black people become Muslim? I see all these young girls wearing the wrap. I said, that's a bonnet. That's for their hair. That's not the same thing. That's not what you think of what it is.
It's not hijab, no.
So what do you think about this older black male calling these two young women out and recording them and then putting it on the internet while they're just sitting there eating their breakfast? Nobody else is bothering them. Now, are people probably judging them? Probably. But nobody's bothering them. And this dude is recording them and chastising them and talking down to them. And I wish I was there to call him out.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple things at play. So one, you got to think about the generation, right? So this is likely a boomer.
Yes.
Likely. Yes.
That type of voice. Yes.
Yes. So I get where they're coming from, because when they were that age, we did have to play that respectability game. We did. We had to play it in every aspect of our lives. But what we're getting to now is, no, I don't have to code switch. No, I can wear my natural hair. No, I can go outside in a protective style or with a protective covering like a bonnet or a do-rag. I can exercise what is culturally significant, important, or just a part of my life. I can show up as my full Black self. I don't have to change who I am to be more palatable to the larger society. We're moving away from that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And honestly, I want to say it started in the 80s when people started naming their kids, Raheem, and Jamal. Like, it started changing, I feel like, then, right?
Well,
you don't have no more Shirleys.
Not with our parents. There's a distinct reason why our grandparents named their 3 kids certain names and why we have certain names.
Yes.
It's to be able to not make a distinction of who we are based on an application. And so that we're given the opportunity for interviews and things of that nature. And I I still feel this is very generational, and I feel like my
Yeah.
generation is tied to this. The millennials and older millennials are still tied to this because it was our parents that were telling us represent yourself, pull your pants up,
Mm-hmm.
don't wear your clothes like that, tuck your shirt in, blah 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 blah, because they were
But it
told
was
that.
also us that did not do that. It was also
Yes.
us who did not comply whatsoever. We said we don't have to do that anymore. And any job that would discriminate against me based on what my name is not a place I want to work anyway. So it's like, instead of us making ourselves small, we're just gonna be authentic, and whatever happens, happens, but we're not gonna tolerate disrespect just because we're Black.
So
My Blackness is not the problem.
right, it's never been a problem. Me being Black has never been a problem for me,
Yeah.
ever. I think there's a couple of different shifts though. I think you're right. In the 80s, there was a slight shift, but I think that shift really happened in the 90s. I think when you start
Yeah.
to get to Raheems and stuff like that, that was really the 90s more than it was the 80s.
Yeah, we were born in the 80s, growing up in the 90s. Yes, yes.
So there was a shift. There was definitely a shift to Black Power, Public Enemy
Mm-hmm.
coming out, Two Live Crew fighting Supreme Court, NWA fighting to get their music out of there to not be censored. I
Yeah.
think there was a push to that.
You
But there
start
was,
seeing a shift in general in entertainment in our depictions, right? Because like before that, we're always drug dealers,
yes,
street criminals, some type of thing. So you start seeing a little shift because now we got the Cosbys. Now we're on primetime television as these respectable families and stuff. So you start seeing the image of us start to shift.
but there was a backlash from that, right?
Yeah.
Because even though you had this representation of this Black family who had a Black father who was a doctor and a Black mother who was a lawyer, which, by the way, originally Claire was supposed to be Dominican and Black. Or no, she was supposed to be Dominican, just like his real wife, but they changed it to her to be Black because Felicia Rashad could absolutely play Dominican.
Yes.
There was a backlash because that became such a popular show. It was like, Black people done made it. And it's like, no, because this is also the same time they're starting to cut social programs, right? They're starting to cut Head Start. They're starting to cut those programs that would teach you how to be a mechanic or whatever when you were in high school. That later, like, so there was also a little bit of backlash. And then it got to a point where Bill Cosby started criticizing other Black people.
Because again, what generation?
Right. Here's the problem though. I am of that generation, and I would say that there are times that I don't want to admit this, but there are where I look at the younger generation and I'm just like, look, this is a bad representation of yourself. Something happened though within the last 10 years. Do you know what it was?
No.
I realized it doesn't matter what our representation is. We had a Black president that you couldn't have asked for a better first Black president than him.
Yeah.
Class personified, intelligent, elegant, everything that we've always wanted to represent.
Yeah.
In the peakness of it was represented in Barack Obama. And the rejection of that. So over the 10 years, it showed me no matter how respectable you are, certain people are going to look for anything wrong with you anyway. So why even try to play that game?
Exactly. That's why we're saying, because the problem for them is our Blackness.
Yes. Hold on, but I did say we weren't going to attack white folks. White folks, we're sorry.
I'm talking about I said them. I'm talking about society writ large.
Okay.
The way we're depicted, the way that we're...
The backlash from Barack Obama was basically, white folks. But some Black folks too. Some Black folks too.
Yes. So like, it's the same, like, regardless, as long as we're Black, the people who don't like Black people aren't gonna like us, whether we have a bonnet on or not. And 9 times out of 10, the people who don't like Black people anyway don't even know what a bonnet is. They think it's a job. So they don't even, it doesn't matter, because we realize we're not going to change the minds of racists by being nicer or whitewashing ourselves or by
We're
making
learning that
ourselves
now.
small.
Like it's
Yeah,
really
we're
being
learning that
hammered at
now.
home now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And so it's that I get it, because again, like I said, in their time, they did need to play that game, right? Of respectability politics. But what they don't understand is that times, even though they still look very similar to the 60s, they have changed, right?
Yeah.
And we're cultivating a new identity and a new well, it's not new. The idea of Black power, all that stuff has been around forever, but we're it's a resurgence of it, right? In a way of like, no, we can just be Black and authentic and proud. And then the second part, because there's another piece to this, is, and this is a problem in our community, this is where I'm going to call us out and call us in, of using shame to quote unquote correct behavior. Because that's exactly what this meant. He was publicly shaming them, using shame. He could have sat down with them and had a conversation where he may have learned something, they may have learned something. But no, we're going back to this idea of public shaming. And here's the thing, that just like whooping your kids, sorry, Black folks, but just like whooping your kids, that idea of public shaming is a remnant of enslavement. Period. It is. You are just carrying over that trauma, except you're doing it to yourself.
Right.
And you're doing it to your own people. And we need to stop. We can have conversations with each other. We don't have to shame each other into, quote unquote, acting right.
Yeah.
We don't need to do it.
Some people out there are going to be listening and watching to this and that aren't in the Black community and just saying, I don't understand why, if one person does something in your community, why you think that reflects on you. And it's because our identity is tied up into being Black. What a lot of, we've had this discussion before with a lot of white Americans, their identity is tied up in being American. So if an American is attacked, they feel it as a collective. But if another white person is harmed, unless there has some meaning behind it that they can get behind to say, see, I told you things like this happened to us, by and large, they're not affected. If they're not affected with all the mass shooters, right? Like that doesn't affect their white identity because they don't identify as a group. But many Black Americans feel like their life chances are tied to what happens to other Black people. This mindset feels solidarity, activism, and mutual care, but it can also intensify pressure to represent the group well. So when people say you're making us look bad, it comes from a belief that one person's actions can shape how all of us are treated. And that's because historically, it absolutely has.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, respectability politics, that was necessary decades ago. That was necessary. And what I'm saying is it's not necessary anymore. But that's absolutely right.
A lot of people are not going to understand what respectability politics is. So let me explain to the people out there. Respectability politics promotes the idea that proper behavior can reduce racism or an acceptance. So for a lot of the older Black people, boomers, Gen X, as well as millennials, right?
Yeah.
It is, if you act right and you do right, you'll gain respect and acceptance from the white community.
Yeah.
And like I said, from my previous example, we had a president that did all of those things.
Yeah.
Before he even stepped foot in office, he was getting mad hate. So yes, it's something that has been done in the Black community, as you see from the description of that video that I was telling y'all about, is still being done. But I'm not calling to task anybody out in public or causing shame to a person for the way that they act. There's a lot of YNs that I wish wouldn't act the way they do, but that's just because they scare me personally.
A lot of them are just actually just really good kids, and the whole shiesty thing is just it's fashion, honestly.
I think it's also we've talked about the shiesty thing before, and that's the face mask, ladies and gentlemen. I think that I would have probably wore shiesty because I've learned in my older age that I'm an introvert, and I really do not crave interactions with people. Typically because they turn a little weird. I had an interaction earlier today with somebody that I know that lives that's in my building that I see all the time, and I asked a simple question: "How are you doing today?" And they said, yeah, I've got IBS. And I was just like, it's the morning time. It's the morning time. So,
really?
I wish I could wear a shiesty. I wear headphones. Normally, nothing's playing in them, but I wear headphones so people won't bother me.
Yeah, because guess what? Black people, including young Black people, also get social anxiety.
Yes.
They also have trouble in social situations. They are also, some of them neurodivergent, some of them on the spectrum. Like you don't know, you just but the assumption is criminal.
Right.
And so if you already gonna see us like that, I might as well do what I want.
Yeah, right. But going back to respectability politics, why it's so very, very important and why we're having this conversation during this segment is because it can create internal divisions, labeling some as respectables and others as holding the race back. Prime example, this man in the video considers himself respectable, and this woman, these two women are holding the race back. And what this can lead to is a reduction of empathy towards the marginalized Black community, poor, queer, justice involved, and immigrant. And we've seen that. We've seen Chris Rock has a comedy sketch that says, there's a difference between Black people and the N-word. Now, in the Black community, we get what he's saying. But as I'm older and I'm looking at that sketch as a whole,
right,
it's creating a picture of that internal division in the Black community and giving people insight into, well, see, Black people feel the same way about them as I do, so I can't be wrong.
Yeah.
And you also see Black people not fight for SNAP benefits being stripped away because they start to believe in the propaganda, well, they should just get a job. So it is all of these things
Most
that
of
are
the people
happening.
getting SNAP benefits are working.
Yeah. They're just not getting paid much.
They're not getting paid enough to eat.
But
yeah, it's demonizing. Ultimately, what is demonizing is poverty.
Yeah.
Which is like America's MO. And it is just a way for Black folks to join in with that by creating that. Oh, no, that is this. I'm one of the good ones. And then there's the other folks.
Right.
There's people who have cookouts in the backyard and people who have cookouts in the front yard. It's different. Like it's, but it's.
Well, who has a cookout in the front yard?
I don't know.
I'm gonna judge that myself.
Some neighbor of mine is like, well, there's people who have cookouts in the backyard and some who have them in the front. And I'm like, you're being very elitist. But but yeah, it's a lot of times when you look at all of the criteria for quote unquote holding the race back, right? It's by and large, those things are driven by poverty.
It is.
Those things are driven by social and political inequity. So yeah, it's just another way again to demonize the poor and marginalized communities. Because we see it again, you mentioned the LGBT community. You mentioned that, you see it there as well. it is a way to demonize otherness within our own community.
Yeah. They put it quite simply. Oh, go ahead.
Because there is, I don't know if they look at it as worth it to be seen as a monolith. Like, I think it's like we're already seen as a collective. So if we're seen as a collective, then all of us need to act right.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we can't look poor. We can't be different in any other way.
You can't be dirty. Can't be dirty.
You can't be dirty.
Always got to be neat.
You can't be queer. You can't be an immigrant. You got to speak English. Anybody in the Black community that's not adhering to you got to wear your hair a certain way. You got to do all these things. You got to dress a certain way. You got to live in a certain place. Yeah, that all requires access and resources that not everybody has. And I think a lot of the pushback with things like the Cosby Show, right, was like, okay, yes, that's one picture of Black life, but it's not the only picture of Black life. Yes, some of us, it's more like Good Times.
Yeah, a lot of us, more like Good Times.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that Good Times was a bad representation of Black people. It was an excellent representation of us and our courage and our ability to persevere.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're expressing to you is how respectability politics turns into a collective identity, because we're viewed as a collective identity anyway, but it's because we have a linked fate, right?
Yeah.
We come from a certain history, so we have a collective identity, but that linked fate says that your struggle is mine, right? But respectability says your mistakes embarrass me.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. But we're holding both of them together. Not so much anymore, but yet we still do. There's the running joke on SNL where the newscasters, 2 Black people, 2 white people, are looking at crimes, the headline crimes, and trying to guess who, and they're doing judgment. I don't know if white people do that. I know us as the Black community do that. And it's the reason why people were like, how could you celebrate OJ being found not guilty? One, we more than likely think that he has something to do with it. However, we've seen so many innocent Black people be railroaded by the system for us to get a victory, even if it's a tainted victory, because technically we all think he's guilty or had some hand in it.
He definitely wrote a book called If I Did It. Like,
If I Did
It. Come on, we know. It's not, but you have to understand, first of all, nobody was celebrating, right? 2 people died. But what you have to understand
there was people celebrating him being found not guilty. That absolutely was a thing.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah. What you have to understand, though, is you got to look at it from the lens of Black people, of we already have zero trust in the system. It is broken. It does not work for us. It was never intended to work for us. Ever. It was never, ever, ever intended to work for us. It's completely intended to continue to disenfranchise us, right? So we are already looking at the criminal justice system like this is not even a real thing. This is something y'all making this up as you go. So if you're viewing it from a lens of the justice system works, then it doesn't make any sense that we would be like celebrating OJ's acquittal. But honestly, I feel like it was a little bit of, see, look, it is broken. We told you. Now this brother's free. Why? Because he had what you need in this country, and what you need don't have nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with the color of that ring in your pocket. Well, as long as you got the money.
Not all the time, because they got
not all the time. There are things that are egregious, but he's free, isn't he?
Yeah, he's free.
Yes.
Not R. Kelly. R. Kelly had money. He ain't getting out. But you're right. There are certain things egregious.
R. Kelly didn't have enough crossover appeal.
There you go. Because if he was on that Epstein list, that list would have been released by now.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, this segment. Do you have any parting words? Because what we did, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're an audience member and you're not in the Black community, this was a snippet of what we live with on a day-to-day basis, judging one another and being judged. And I will even judge, even though as I'm judging, I'm like, that's not right for me to be judging. But it's so ingrained from my 45 years of living that it becomes hard to turn that off. And it's historical. It's because of historical events that we do have a collective identity, which is beautiful in a lot of ways.
Yes.
When it becomes a situation where we feel embarrassed because of one individual or a grouping of individuals, that's where it becomes our detriment. But do you have like anything parting to say?
Yeah, we need to, as a community, do a better job of calling each other out and calling each other in, of having conversations. We're not going to the master's tools will never dismantle his house. So we are not taking tactics that were used against us in enslavement and using it against each other. We're not doing that. We're going to have grace and we're going to have empathy and we're going to have compassion for each other and we're going to sit down and have conversations, because you might find that you were completely wrong about somebody, because you also in your mind consider us a collective, that person is a representation of you. They're not. They're a representation of themselves. Yes, the things that happen to us in our, the things that happen to us are a signal of what could happen to all of us. And we will always keep that level of vigilance. Everybody should, honestly. Everybody should. If something happens to somebody, that's a signal that it could happen to you. Like everybody should have that level of awareness. But that's honestly where it should stop. I also like walking into a space. You see another Black person, you nod, they nod, we understand. Okay? I love that. I love that about us. But we need to take that same energy and put it into being more empathetic towards each other and recognize that this person is not a reflection of you. They're a reflection of themselves. And you don't even know what their story is. You're making it up in your mind based off stereotypes and prejudice. Get yourself together.
I'm gonna tell one quick story and then leave everybody with this question. The quick story is I was walking with a friend of mine and his wife, and we were in a park, and we were just walking and talking, right? And in that park, coming up towards us was a Black couple, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" I kept on going, and my white friend was like, "Do you know them?" I was like, "No." It's like, "Why do you say hi to them?" I said, "That's just something that Black people do. We recognize each other in each other's space." He happened to be Jewish. White and Jewish, right? And I was like, y'all don't do that, at least in the Jewish community, when there are identifying factors that this person is Jewish. She was like, hell no. I was like, oh, okay, well, we do it in our community. But my question goes out to my Black people out here. And this is a real question. I want everybody to truly, truly think about it. Can we keep our solidarity without turning into policing each other? It's just a question. I want to maintain our solidarity, but I want us to stop policing each other. The question is, can you do it? Jay, I went to a different social media site. I was on Threads. I've started getting on Threads, even though Threads is they kind of got these bots that it's trying to turn into old Twitter. It's trying to. There's some bigotry and hatred and racism. I'm like, where Threads is supposed to be all love. Where is this coming from? It was supposed to be.
Social media. It's never going to be all love. It's social media. Yeah.
I don't see a lot of hate on Reddit. I know they have their own subreddits. That's the reason why they talk amongst each other. But in this thread post, this woman posts, I went on a date this weekend and he ordered the worst cocktail possible, and I'm ready to tell my story. What is a nightmare drink order for you to hear on a date. And then I went down into the comments and I got a list of drinks that they were labeling in the comments. But let me just ask you, you out on a date and the person you're on a date with orders a particular drink.
Yeah.
You judging them on that drink?
Yeah, because let me tell you, that'll let me know. I'm judging like your maybe like your social anxiety level, right? Like if they order something chill, then I know you probably feel pretty confident. You know, we'll probably have a good conversation. If they order something strong, I'm like, oh, you trying to build your dander up. Okay, I get it. You're a little nervous. You know, you trying to
Well, who
hype
isn't
yourself
nervous
up.
on a date?
Me?
Oh, well, that's just because you don't be giving a damn about nothing.
Yeah.
Not everybody can live their life like that,
me or
Jay.
you don't.
Not
Like,
everybody
either
can
you
live
like
their
me
life
or you
like
don't.
Leo, okay?
All right.
Jesus.
Who doesn't like me? Come on.
I will absolutely judge a woman based on what she's drinking because that'll tell me if we truly have compatibility. Because I used to be a bartender, so I know what certain drinks are.
Yes.
And I also know how you drink certain things at certain points in your life.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm out and a young lady, even though I like this drink in the privacy of my own home. See, a lot of drinks you can have in the privacy of your own home, but you can't have in public.
Okay.
If I'm out with a young lady, and this was on the list, and she orders a Moscato, nope. I don't want nothing to do with her. You don't
can't
order
have dessert wine?
No, you can't have no Moscato out in public. If she orders a Long Island iced tea, which is also on this list. First of all, if you order, look, and we know somebody that who loves ordering Long Island iced teas. And I done told them several times, stop doing this. Okay, this is not a good look.
What is wrong with, now I will say that a lot of people drink Moscato as their like entree wine, and it is a dessert wine. Like you were supposed to have it with dessert.
Ma'am, you have drank Moscato just
in the
as
comfort
drinking
of my own home.
Yes,
in the comfort of my own home. I won't order it as my entree wine.
You order it as your dessert wine?
It's for. If I have dessert, I might.
Okay.
I don't typically have dessert because dessert's always cheesecake.
Yeah, and cheesecake is delicious.
No, I hate cheesecake.
Whatever. All right.
Yeah.
But what I also was going in the thread is women have certain icks when men order certain drinks. This dude told a story.
I can see that.
Yeah, this dude told a story of he was out with a woman and he ordered a lemon drop. And the woman immediately asked the bartender and said, "Hey, have you ever known a man to order a lemon drop? Has one man ordered a lemon drop today?" And the bartender just chuckled. And she was like, "That's what I thought." And she got up and left. And there are, like, I really love a Cosmo. Yeah. A Cosmo Martini. I have never ordered one in public. I love Appletinis. I will never order one in public. I will drink them in the comforts of my own home.
Okay,
but just
I get that, but that's also ridiculous. I mean,
but it's all ridiculous. It's all ridiculous.
But at the same time, if I am on a date with a gentleman and he's like, "Hey, give me a Bahama Breeze," I do. I'm like, okay, what?
A Sex on the Beach, a Mai Tai, any of them type of drinks. Like, what you
not
doing
in the
right
Bahamas.
now?
Like, what are you doing?
A Midori sour. Like,
let me get a rum punch. Like, no, wait, what? Like, I guess I would be like, wait, what?
I'll tell you another thing.
Why?
I'll tell you another thing that, and I'd be judging them. I recently went out on a date. Not recently. It was a few months ago. And a woman ordered Scotch neat.
Okay.
And I was like, you just gonna drink Scotch neat? I don't even drink Scotch. I drink a lot of stuff.
That's a woman that don't need nobody.
No.
She's with you because she wants to be.
No. Yes. But also, a good friend of mine drank a Scotch, and I was like, "Yeah, you that's strong, independent. Don't need no man for nothing." That's also means that they are not Open to receive vulnerability.
To receive or to be vulnerable?
Both, but
I
to
don't think that's
receive
true.
vulnerability.
Let me tell you, as an independent lady, we
don't drink no
did
Scotch.
not choose this. I don't drink Scotch.
There's a
but
difference.
we did not choose this, and we don't want it. We want to be soft. Like, we want to have a soft life. I'm tired of handling all my responsibilities by myself. So I think that's just not true. I think you end up being put in a position where you have to be like the leader, and then you get stuck there.
Okay, I can see it.
And at the end of the day, you need a Scotch neat.
I tell you what, I'd rather deal with the woman that has a Scotch neat because she's a woman that has her own, and that's attractive to me, than that woman that orders that Hennessy neat. I'm gonna tell you right now, a woman can order just about anything. And there's gonna be some stuff I'm gonna be like, really? Like the Moscato, really? The flip side to that is that Hennessy. I was dating a woman one time. She came to my house because I got a bar, and she was like, "You don't got no Hennessy?" And I was like, "No, I don't keep that shit in my house.
Yeah,
that's the devil's drink. I don't have it here."
You also gotta understand, Hennessy is also like I feel like it's a cultural thing also. Like, you grow up around people that drink Hennessy. Your first drink's probably Hennessy. Like, it just
and Hennessy is delicious.
And your drink is just your drink. Like, it becomes what you drink. And most times people don't stray from that. Like, it changes as you grow up. Like, when I first started drinking as a teenager, I made screwdrivers. A little vodka and orange juice. It was easy to make. You rarely could mess it up. And then eventually I was like, okay, I don't deal with vodka anymore. Let's move on to something else. And then it ends up in tequila land or wherever.
Do you drink tequila? I know you.
I do drink tequila. I got a bottle chilling in the fridge now.
Isn't it a bottle that I left there?
Nope, I just bought it.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Let me find out. My sister, a tequila drinker, because I be drinking and you don't never partake.
Yes, I do. You always like, you want to drink, and I'm like, yeah. And then you'll make me one.
Okay. But I think it's funny because people are just dating out here is so tough.
Yeah.
Because people have so many things that annoy them.
Yeah.
And I do too. Like ladies, I understand it from a physiological standpoint, but I'm gonna be real honest with you. If you wearing leggings, I don't want to see no damn panty lines. I'm talking about the bloomer panties. I don't want to see them damn panty lines. That bothers me to no end. But I also know that that's the healthiest thing for a woman to do for their, the stuff down there.
And also, hey, little draws ain't comfortable.
Well, see, I hear different.
Big old draws. You just sit and watch some TV and some big old draws. Eat some ice cream and drink some Moscato in the comfort of your own home. There's nothing better than that. Period.
Okay, well, just don't go outside like that then.
No. Leave me alone. I'm the one that's got to walk around the earth in draws that's cutting off my circulation. No, I want them big bloomers so I could be comfortable throughout my day.
You know who I'm turning into? I'm turning into that old man in the second segment that was yelling at the women for wearing bonnets, like, wear good underwear. All I'm saying is,
if you see a panty line when a woman is wearing leggings, it's one of two things. One, they're too tight. The leggings are just the wrong size. Or two, they're cheap and the material is thin. And that's why you can see it. But if they are the correct size and they're not some thin, cheap material, you shouldn't see nobody draws.
All right, well, let me rephrase it. Y'all women out there, stop wearing them Temu and Shein leggings and go ahead and go to Lululemon and go get you some red lemons. Pay
Ain't nobody paying minimum $75 for a pair of leggings. I'm not doing it.
The same person that was drinking Scotch was like, ooh, I think these Lululemon pants would be really good for you. I was like, Lululemon pants, that's women's clothes. Like, no, they make men's clothes too. I was like, they do?
Yes.
I was like, okay. I went in there and tried on them pants. I was like, I'm not wearing these. They look good on you. I was like, these are very revealing. And they were like, oh, yeah, I can see everything. I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
wearing these. I'm going to go back to
Yeah.
my regular old joggers that I love so
Yes.
much. I'm not wearing
Yes.
these Lululemon. And then I said, what is the price on here? I was like, what else do you get with the $75?
Right.
It's just these pants right here. These pants is not enough. Do they do something like stop bullets?
What
Make
do
me run
they do?
faster? What do they do? Like that lady.
I don't understand. Why are they so expensive?
I'll never forget that time I was at Target and that older black couple was buying drawers for her husband. And she said, $20 for some drawers. What do they do? And I just stopped in the middle of the hallway and just dropped to my knees and started dying laughing.
Yes, because it's like $20.
Oh, which
For a
I
pack
spent
of
$20
drawers?
on a pair of individual drawers because,
Yes.
hey, look, you don't skimp on drawers. That's
No,
what
you got to
can
be
skimp on a lot of
comfortable.
things, but not
Yes.
drawers.
Take care of your undercarriage. Damn
Jay,
it.
what do you want to tell these people out here before we get out of here?
Man, look into the moisture wicking drawers. Now that's good. One is good for your health.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Good for your health and, sanitary and all that. But also, just keep you cool in the summertime.
Sometimes.
So
I'm wearing them right now and I'm sweating underneath these lights. My whole body is sweating underneath these lights.
Yeah.
But
take it. There's a lot of brands have like a temperature control, all kind of stuff. Yeah. Take care of yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with this. Stop judging folks out here. I know I was just talking about judging folks for their drinks. That's tongue in cheek. I'm making jokes.
Yes.
Even though secretly I do privately kind of do some type of judgment, but I know in the time that I'm wrong and I'm trying to correct that behavior.
Yes.
Do the same thing. Stop judging people out here for being black and proud black and wearing their hair, their clothing, their jewelry, or whatever they want, the way they want to do, talking the way they want to talk. Our culture is beautiful, all facets of it. I love everything about it, even the stuff that scares me a little bit, which you shiesties out there, you shiesty looking YNs. But I know y'all are good kids. It's just whatever. It's a trend.
That's social anxiety.
Or I was rocking do-rags everywhere in the early 2000s. Now I'm thinking, what the hell was I doing? It was a trend. It was a part of the entire wardrobe. We got to stop judging each other and start loving each other. That's all I got to say. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Woo! That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspective.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you really feel generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.